Could you tell us a bit about Erasmus funding and how it helped you whilst you're abroad?
So I think we were the last year to actually get the Erasmus funding, and it was basically a lifeline. I don't think I would have been able to live really enjoy and get the most out of my year abroad. Copenhagen is a very expensive city, so Erasmus actually didn't go that far even there. But I know some people who went to like Brussels and Spain where it was really helpful and obviously helped them even more.
What do you think of the changes to this system post-Brexit?
I think the funding is significantly reduced, if I'm right. And if that's the case, I don't think people could afford to go to Copenhagen. I had to work before going to Copenhagen, and even then, my savings didn't really last me that long. I was always in my overdraft sort of thing, and that was just really stressful. And that, not that I didn't enjoy Copenhagen, but it sort of reduced the ability to do everything I want to do all the time, which I feel like you should be able to do on a year abroad.
Do you think this funding will act as a barrier to entry for future applicants?
I think so, but if I'm being totally honest, I wasn't really aware of how serious of a financial burden it could be. So I actually don't know even if the university are going to warn people adequately enough. I certainly didn't feel like that, and I had a lot of funding. But I know people who go who will then have to sort of come back, and that you know, that's a horrible reality, and that really does affect not just your year abroad and your enjoyment, but also your academic, success.
Could you tell us a little bit about getting a visa for your study abroad?
Oh well, that was a right pain, I won't lie. We had to go all the way to London. So I'm from Wales, so that wasn't really easy to do necessarily. The other option was to go all the way up to Manchester, and it was sort of privatised, so it was to a company, and it cost me in total, I think, roughly £450 to £500, which you can apply for it to be getting a proportion of that back, but the documentations for that is so long, and the university aren't necessarily that helpful in doing it either.
Do you think getting visas will only get harder post-Brexit?
Well, I don't know about whether it will get harder, but I feel like it's hard enough as it is. It's not easy, and unless you really plan ahead, and the university, I don't feel adequately prepared just for it, you're not going to be able to get it on time. And I was in a situation where I started the process 4 months before going, because I only knew about where I was going about 5 months before, and I still hadn't got a visa until I was 2 months into my year abroad anyway. So, I was on the verge of being kicked out, which is not great when you've got a hostile immigration.
And any closing comments on?
I'd recommend a year abroad. I think this was probably the only negative thing I have about it, would be the financial part of it. But if you prepare well enough in advance and you're given the right information, you can really enjoy it. And I think also it's where you go. Copenhagen potentially is one of those outlying places that's very expensive. But if you go to somewhere maybe like Brussels, France, or Spain, Italy, it's going to be that bit cheaper. But again, go to the place where you want to go. Money shouldn't really come into it. If you can, Erasmus was a lifeline to me, but hopefully there will be that support out there in the future.
Thanks very much, Ed. Cheers.